tremendous job all the way through the game yesterday, just staying in the moment and, playing hard all the way through the end and just, never once, just not doing anything other than trying to go out and win. So, just really proud of those guys. I thought they played really, really hard yesterday. So why don't we just go to questions?
All right, guys, we're going to try to get through everybody's questions here. So let's try to limit it to one each. Justin first.
Hey, Matt, you've said multiple times, good defense starts with good run defense. Obviously, it's been really good. I think it was last week you said you didn't change anything with the scheme, but maybe personnel groupings. We've seen a lot more of that. Shelton, John Pennicini, Nick Williams grouping up front. That seems to really be clicking for you guys. Hand in that mix as well. What do you like about how that grouping has performed and maybe helped get that element of your defense on track?
Yeah, I think, we've mixed in a little bit of those guys kind of rolling through there. And I think done a good job maybe of pulling off some reps on some other guys in certain situations to try to keep everybody a little bit fresher. I think that's helped both in the run game and in the pass, really some of the pass rush situations too, which is good. But I think that those guys have just done a really good job inside of kind of anchoring that middle a little bit. And I think, certainly a guy like John Pennicini, who we're just, getting to know and putting through the first, 4 games and then really had a chance to take a look at what he was able to do. And certainly Nick Williams getting healthy and obviously Danny Shelton, being consistent in there and Deshaun Hand getting better. So just feeling more comfortable with those guys after a set of, the first 4 games and putting them in different positions that we thought maybe they could perform better in. So I think it was a good job taking a look at some of those sets.
I know Eamon said one. I'm really curious about the end of the game chaos there. There was a penalty, a dead ball penalty when Carrion was hit. Should have been probably assessed, and then they misspot the ball after the review. I'm just curious, how hard is it to be coaching in chaotic situations and maybe miss some of these little things that may or may not impact you in the closing seconds there? Obviously they didn't, which is great, but how difficult is that for you?
Yeah. You know what, though? I had the guys that were working our sideline, Mark, and those guys were great. We had great communication. I thought those guys were doing a tremendous job of just trying to keep me informed. So really, I really have anything to say on that at all, to be honest with you. I thought those guys did a great job.
Thanks, Matt.
Tim?
Hey, I was just curious, when I watched the game back today, that Galladay catch was at the 8-yard line. I was just curious, did you ever get a reason why the ball was spotted at the 11? I don't think it was ever clear. I'm just curious if you got an explanation for that.
You know what? Just kind of in the moment, just kind of going with everything as far as that's concerned. There was obviously a lot going on, so I really don't have anything for you right now.
Gotcha.
Jeremy?
Hey, Coach, thanks for the time. I kind of want to talk about the art of letting an opponent score a touchdown there. We kind of saw 2 different strategies from the players there. Jared Davis let the guy go by, and then we saw Will Harris kind of interact with him. Is there a strategy you're telling them? Is there maybe a benefit to engaging a guy who's running for a touchdown to make sure that they don't slide or dive?
Yeah, there's definitely some coaching points in there that are critically important that we do try to emphasize in those situations. Those are tough moments, I think, on both sides of the ball, and certainly offensively. I think there's situations in there where, it's hard if someone's coming at you and they're going to hit you really hard to stop your momentum. So sometimes you can try to use that a little bit to your advantage if you can get it just right.
Michael?
Yeah, hey, Matt. I know we've harped on it a little bit, man, versus zone over the last, season probably. Last couple of weeks, it seems like you've been playing more 50-50 or even shading more towards zone. Is this more matchup specific, or are you in some ways changing what you feel works best for you and Corey?
You know what? I think that's a great question because I would say, through the years, I've probably run all different types of coverages, and I think you always try to do the best of whatever's working for you, maybe that particular week, that particular game plan, or maybe with, the different unit that you have out there. So we've played it all. Our playbook's pretty thick. We probably got just about every coverage I think you can think of in there. So it's really just trying to do what we think is best that week from that standpoint. And, we'll always try to do what we think we, can do to stop that opponent that week.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
Chris?
Hey, Matt. you've talked a lot, your players have talked a lot about not riding the wave of a season, and we've mostly discussed that after losses. I guess I'm just wondering what the challenge is after a win like that to get refocused for another big game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're 100% correct. I think it's critically important for us to just get through the game today, get the corrections, and then really move on. Certainly it was a great game, and I'm proud of the team for the way they handled yesterday, but that really won't help us next week. The Colts are going to be ready to go. They're coming off a bye week. They're going to be rested. So I think it is the game of football, and whether you talk about game by game, the season, or play by play, it's just about staying consistent and, like you said, not riding the wave, but just being the same all the time, and I think that's where you show improvement. That's where you get better. I think that's where you are really the most aware of what's going on around you and how you can learn and grow. I think when you go either the too high or too low, you miss a lot of details that you're, whether in game or from each game. And when you miss those details, you can't apply them the next time. So for us, it is about just trying to stay consistent no matter what. I would agree that, the challenge, obviously, after a very emotional game like yesterday's is to kind of go back to work. But I would say our guys, they're tremendous in that area. We've got great leadership that is, just helps us refocus each week. And we understand that, they're all one game seasons, and we gotta go back to work.
Dave?
Matt, trade deadline is about a week away, and I think if you want to have players in place for next week's game, you kind of have to make the move this week. Do you anticipate being buyers at the deadline, and why or why not? I mean, you're 3-3, so you're in the mix here. Do you anticipate being buyers at the deadline?
Yeah. I don't know if I can really predict anything that's going to happen going forward. I know that, for us, we're always going to try to do whatever we can to help our team get better. Sometimes those situations in particular, trades are, it takes both parties and everybody involved. So I don't know. We'll see how all that goes. But right now it's just focused on, really turning the page to get ready for Indy from that standpoint.
Got time for two more. O'Hara, then Stoney.
Yeah, Coach, thanks a lot. This is one about Matthew Stafford and the comebacks. I'm just wondering that, we've talked about chaos a little bit here, but he just seems so assured out there. I wonder if the fact that he's done this so well, so long, and taken it from the practice field to the playing field, there's a certain calmness, with the guys who've been through it with him, that there's an expectation, not a hope, when they get on the field that they're going to get this done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think football in general sometimes is organized chaos. Sometimes it's organized, sometimes it's not. But I think, the guys that are calm in those situations are obviously guys that have been there before. And Matthew Stafford's been there, a lot of times and really just phenomenal in those situations. So it was just great. I think, everybody around him too, give credit to the offensive line and the receivers and skill guys. I thought they did a phenomenal job of everybody just being on the same page. Coach Bev did a great job of getting the calls in and helping those guys with the situation. So thought it was, excellent operation, but certainly, no doubt you see the leadership of Matthew Stafford in all those situations. He's so situationally aware all the time of what's going on the field. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty cool to watch that and to see his ability to really see the entire field of everything that's happening during those, those final seconds it's pretty neat.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Stoney, last one.
Getting back to the Gurley play, Matt, do you think about how do you decide when to do it? Because if you would have done it maybe a play or two earlier, it was 2 yards further out, maybe you'd have another timeout and a little more time left. Is that a chart or is that just a feel?
No, there's definitely some numbers that go involved with that and time on the clock and really down in distance. That's a big part of it too. So that all being said, there is conversation maybe a little bit earlier and you're kind of weighing back and forth between what do you think your chances are in those maybe those downs previous to what it looks like. And then just making sure you also get it communicated, in those situations. So there's a little bit of a formula that goes through that.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.
Okay. Sounds good. Everybody take care.
Coach.